SB 230 is what I like to call the Opportunity to Play Act. SB 230 would allow homeschool students the opportunity to try out for, participate in activities offered through their local public school throughout middle school and high school. Currently, homeschool students can participate in little leagues and travel teams with their friends growing up. They are involved in the community, participating in activities with other community members, often with these events taking place at the local high school. This all changes when these kids reach 7th grade and Misha takes over. I have several witnesses here from my district who woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to be able to testify. And so with my time, I'd like to be able to make sure that they have enough time to do so. Thank you for your support.
Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, thank you for hearing my testimony this morning. My name is Jonah Speaker. I'm a 16-year-old homeschooled junior. I enjoy working out, playing football, basketball, lifting weights, and eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So why not us? That's the question my football coach asked in the middle of a rough start to our football season. Why not us? Somebody had to end the season with a win. Why not us? Just like the hungry football team, homeschoolers around the state have been asking, why not us? Why can't we play sports at our local public school? As a second grader, I attended my local public school, but I was an energetic kid and had trouble sitting still for long periods of time. That is when my parents decided to homeschool me. During my years of education at home, I have transformed from the kid who could not sit still to the studious high school junior, taking 12 hours of college dual enrollments in the spring semester on top of the 9 I completed last fall. Today, I'm here to ask you to support Senate Bills 230 and 411, which would allow homeschoolers to participate in sports and other activities at their local public school. You may be asking, don't homeschoolers have their own sports? In urban communities, homeschooled athletes have access to competitive teams. However, this is not the case in rural communities where a student could be hours from the nearest competitive team. Going into my freshman year, I was faced with this dilemma. The nearest 11-man football team was 90 miles from my home, or I could seek the opportunity down the street in what is arguably the best football program in the state of Missouri. Under the current Missouri State High School Athletic Association policy, Activities Association policy, a homeschooled high school student must enroll in 2 classes at the public school in order to participate. However, individual school districts can and are more restrictive, and there is a complete prohibition on junior high participation. Throughout my elementary school years, I participated in local school and city-sponsored activities with my public school peers. That came to an abrupt end when I entered into 7th grade. I was cut off from the athletic community that I had experienced my whole life. Thankfully, when I reached 9th grade, Webb City reconsidered homeschool access and removed their complete prohibition. In the Webb City School District, I am allowed to participate under the MISHA standard of 2 classes per day. However, at least 3 of the neighboring school districts have a complete ban on homeschool participation. So this policy is not applied equally across the state. On 2 separate occasions, my family sought change and met with the president of MISHA. On one occasion, we were accompanied by Senator O'Laughlin, who has sponsored this legislation for the past few years, after the retirement of its previous Senator Emery, who I consider a role model personally and politically. I am grateful that I was able to know him. Our appeals to MISHA have been met with the blame game. MISHA blames member schools for voting on the policy, and the member schools blame MISHA for creating the rules and the ballot on which they vote. During the 2022 legislative session, assurances were made by the MISHA lobbyists that they understood the problems and were seeking change. We were informed that the changes would be made to compel the school districts to conform to the policy of 2 classes or less and include junior high participation. However, in August, when we followed up with another meeting with the MISHA president on these changes, MISHA denied having the authority to place limits on what schools could require a homeschool student to do in order to participate. Therefore, without a law, some school districts will continue the open discrimination against competitive homeschooled participants. Those who oppose this legislation may tell you that they don't know if homeschoolers hold to the MISHA eligibility standards. However, MISHA's current system, in order to participate in extracurriculars, a student cannot be failing more than 1 class. That's not a very high bar to clear. As long as a homeschool family is in compliance with the state law for homeschooling, that should be sufficient. Under Missouri law, homeschool parents face jail time if they are found out of compliance with the law. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, I implore you to vote for Senate Bills 230 and 411, which would allow homeschool students to participate in extracurriculars at their local public school. My team, the Webb City Cardinals, went on to win the Class 5 state championship. I was able to become the youngest but 5th state champion of my family. Tax-paying homeschoolers should have the opportunity to compete for state championships. You have the power to change the lives of homeschooled athletes across the state. I've worked on this issue for years and would love to see it across the finish line. Though I will graduate and go to college, there are many others that will be coming behind me. So let's pass this bill for their sake. I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Hello, everybody. My name is Judah Meredith. I am 13 years old, and I currently live in Joplin, Missouri. I have been homeschooled my whole life and have played a variety of sports since second grade. I'm in junior high now, and options to play competitive sports have become increasingly limited. I currently wrestle with a club in Webb City, but this is the last year I can wrestle due to MSHA regulations. MSHA currently bans students who are not enrolled in the school from playing sports on the school's junior high teams, while city and club leagues have become increasingly harder to find for my age group. An argument that we have heard repeatedly is that we have opportunities to play sports through club teams that are not connected to schools and therefore allow students from any school district. These are available in large cities like St. Louis or Kansas City, but in small towns such as mine, there are very few of these, and if they exist, they are not usually on the same competitive level as activities through the school. My dad played football in college, and I would love to do the same, but when non-traditional students are banned from participating in sports, it limits our opportunities to earn college scholarships through athletics or even the ability to play sports in college. And when the ban on junior high participation for homeschooled students takes away critical years of development and team building for those who want to continue playing in high school and puts them at a disadvantage. In the end, I asked for your support of these bills. Thank you for listening to my testimony.
Hello, my name is Matthew Meredith. I am 13 and I live in Joplin, Missouri. I've played a variety of sports through city leagues, but when I went into 7th grade, it got harder to find sports I could play. The state of Missouri, due to MSHA regulations, currently has a complete ban on non-traditional students playing sports in junior high, and city leagues stop at around my age. I currently wrestle for Webb City club team, but this is the last year I can participate by age. We are trying to get a Joplin travel football team together, but so far can't get enough players. In high school, non-traditional students are allowed to participate in 2 classes at the school, per MSHA regulations. But my city says no to homeschool participation. They don't allow it at all. The neighboring school districts of Carthage and Carl Junction also say no. I am a homeschooled student, which is a good fit for me since I am dyslexic and need more attention in reading. Students who have special needs or more attention in different areas may need a different method of education in order to do their best. No student should have to choose between sports or extracurriculars and the education that is most likely to help them succeed. The best options, and sometimes the only options, are extracurricular activities in my area or through the schools. It's hard to see my friends being able to participate while I can't. I'm here to ask you to support this bill, not just for me, but for all the homeschooled and non-traditional students who want to participate. Thank you.
So I came here today as an older sister with 3 younger siblings, all of who will be affected by Senate Bill 230. I realize I may be getting too old to benefit from this bill, as well as some others testifying, but I ask that as you listen to my testimony, as well as the others, you realize the importance of this bill on the hearts of all who have come to testify in favor of it and the benefit it will have on the students of Missouri. So through MSHA regulations, school districts are able to allow non-traditional students from the district to participate in extracurriculars and sports if the students take a minimum of 2 classes. However, as my brother said before, our school district completely bans participation. Even so, I cannot participate in the same activities as my friends in my district because of my family's choice of education, although our taxes continue to fund these activities. Multiple states have successfully passed laws allowing homeschooled students access to school sports and extracurriculars with no significant complications, including Florida and Colorado. This bill does not benefit homeschoolers at a price to public schools. In fact, both parties can equally benefit. The language of this bill would require students to take one class at their local high school in order to participate in extracurriculars, increasing school attendance, and this means that the schools are eligible to receive more money from the state. So last year, we visited the president of MISHA to discuss our concerns with our current policy. Last year, there was discussion between Representative Hurlbert, who carried this bill in the House, and MISHA, with talk of them changing the policy so that we did not need to pass this bill. 1 year later, no changes have been made concerning this policy, and it is our understanding from the meeting and the president in prior experience that they do not plan to do so. So we are not demanding a spot on the team, simply a chance to try out. This is not public school students versus homeschool students or parents versus teachers, and it is simply us asking to have an opportunity to join the swim team or try out shipwire. Whatever hesitations you might have, in the end, it all comes back to what is best for the students. So please support the students of Missouri. Thank you for letting me share my story, and I would greatly appreciate your support of Senate Bill 230.
Hello, my name is Melody Meredith, and I'm 8 years old and homeschooled in Joplin. I'm playing soccer, and I enjoy it very much. You have heard from my 3 older siblings that they are not allowed to play sports, and if nothing happens about this, I also will not be able to play this sport that I love. Playing soccer helps me stay healthy, make friends, learn teamwork, and it is a very good experience. I hope that you allow this bill to pass so my siblings and I can play sports as well as other homeschoolers, as I'm sure they would also love to play sports. I thank you for your time to listen to me. Do you have any questions?
Good morning. My name is Sierra Hicks. I'm a freshman in high school, and I've been homeschooled since I was in kindergarten. I believe that homeschoolers should be allowed to participate in MISHA activities because this would be very good for our homeschoolers, for our public schools, and our communities. A lot of families decide to homeschool for a lot of different reasons, but for my family, it was not because we don't value our local community. Some ways that I've been involved in my local community, over the past year, I've helped with 3 candidates' political campaigns. Every week, I intern at a nonprofit art gallery in my town. My family hosts international students and helps with a youth choir of over 160 area public, private, and homeschool students. So even though my family has decided to homeschool, we still believe that the Carthage school system is really important to our community and our future. I personally have been interested in a lot of things besides sports, so I hadn't really thought about the need for homeschoolers to participate in school sports, but recently, especially over the past year, I've noticed it affecting a whole lot of my friends. Like if you're really good at sports and you're really serious about it and you think that you maybe want to play in college someday, the only way that you can do that is to participate in public school sports. And I love homeschooling. It's been my family's lifestyle for as long as I can remember, but I also have things that I'm really passionate about. And I can't imagine having to choose between something I was that passionate about and the lifestyle that I love so much. I believe that homeschool students should be allowed to participate in MISHA activities. My family's tax dollars are funding these activities, and homeschoolers leave most of that money in the system for other students. So if I want to try out for something that I'm interested in at my local high school, like maybe debate team or swim team or a music class of some sort, I think it would be fair that I be able to access that part of what my family is already paying for. Another thing is if a homeschool student is allowed to participate in these sports, that student will have to have work ethic and skill, no less, and maybe even a little more to get playing time on that team. That will challenge all of the players and raise the bar for the whole team. And I think the most important thing is that this would be really good for our communities. As I've experienced in my activities, especially our choir, I think that there is a lot of value in having relationships over a diversity of educational choices. Drawing homeschoolers into our local schools can only help us better support each other and our communities, and I think that's what school's for anyway, is to strengthen our communities for the future. So in conclusion, I ask you to support Senate Bill 230 and Senate Bill 411. Thank you very much for your time. I know I'm open to any questions you might have.
Just a reminder that this bill has gotten bipartisan support multiple years. We would really love to see, as you can see, the kids are passionate, invested, and well, very articulate. I'm very proud and pleased to represent them. I would appreciate your support.